Yet another Groundhog's Day. Woke up this morning for yet more email dribble in the inbox, which I'm not even going to touch at this point. A lot of it was copy-paste from a prior dribble. I went back to the February 9th dribble and take a closer look at this. You see increased income valet from $800 to $2,000 a week. People were scratching their heads on that one. They're like, for real? So we're going to take a closer look at that. But let's start off. Due to Marlon's leadership, more like leader sunken ship at this point. And perseverance, give her credit, she does persevere, but for all the wrong reasons. But after she gets the boot, it'd be more like severance. Well, actually not really, no severance for her. We have renovated the common areas, lobbies, social hall, without a penny in assessment. Well, I'd also say, and without any city permits either. So I took a little liberty here. The red highlighted is something I add, not part of the original. Lobbies, oh geez, let's save that for another day. All the furniture for a couple $100,000, way overpriced. Yeah, no, she's good at burning money, that's for sure. Common areas, social hall. So we've been through this in the prior video. Not just social hall, but a restaurant as too. Where are city permits for anything under her rule? Nowhere to be found. Okay, brought in a new restaurant vendor who provides delicious food. Haven't tried it. You know what? I'll take her word for it. Does not require subsidies. The verdict's out on that. I've been here a long time, and no restaurant vendor has ever survived longer than a year without subsidy. Okay, and it's saving us money for now. And the only way this vendor can survive is if they're cooking and exporting that food elsewhere, and making the money not here but elsewhere. And that's fair game, and I hope they're smart enough to do it. Otherwise, they either didn't do due diligence or they were fed, Lord knows what they were fed on the buy into this place. So I call it snowbird season math. What happens in a month when this place goes full-on ghost town? The math just doesn't work. It's like Wile E. Coyote math. Let's get to it. Increased income from valet from $800 to $2,000 per week. Well, that's easy enough to look up, so let's take a look. Marlon's been on the board for 2 years. She got in early 22, so let's look at 2021. See what the math looks like. So you could see $90,000. So we're looking at the end of year statement for rec at the end of 21. It brought in 90 or 80. Let's round up to $88,000. Let's just do that real quick. 88, 123 divided by 52 comes out to about $1,700 a week. And what was her original number? 800. Okay. I don't know where she got 800 from. Oh, come on! That 88,000 is roughly 1,700 a week, and it exceeded expectations. Look at this. They brought in an overage of 28,000 more than expected, and I suspect that this 60K figure was probably just carried over from the last year. Like the prior year would have been a COVID year, and they would have taken a hit on that. I have a feeling that's where the 60K came from. Well, let's move on to the year 2022. What do we have here? Okay, first of all, where's the December statement online? Now, sometimes in conduct control, it's a permissions issue, and it might be there, and I don't have access to it, but either way, we're missing it. Let's take the 84,800, rounding up, for 11 months, not 12 months, and they had a 90K budget, so you can already see we were doing better, right? So if we extrapolate and add with this run rate what the typical a month would look like, you can almost add this to the 90K, so it'll probably come up to like 92.5. So if we do 84,784 times 12 divided by 11, there we go, 92, almost 92.5K. I guess the calculator in my brain still works. Let's take that number further again, divide it by 52. Okay, so we're clocking in it higher now, closer to, getting closer to 1,800 a month. That was for 21, 22. Okay, so seriously, what the heck is she talking about with $800 a month? But we just looked at 2 years and they're both more than double what she's talking about. At this point, you can't trust her or her math.
You're a liar. You're a liar.
So now we're moving into the year that she took over, okay? And now here's the interesting thing, right? So here we see this. We have year ends, which came in recently. At least that's timely enough, and is up there on the rec site. So kudos for at least posting numbers up there. So we have 105,716, and let's clear it out. Do 105,716 divided by 52. Okay, so that clears the 2,000 a week mark. The thing I find most interesting here is that look at the budget. You see the yearly budget? They forecasted $130K in revenue. And why? Because they jacked up fees so much. So if you look at it, they underperformed by $25,000. So she didn't even meet the very expectations that she was gunning for. Fail. Like I said, you can't trust her or her math. If she's willing to play around with fantasy numbers and something so small but yet so easily verifiable, then how could you trust anything she'd say ever?
You're a liar. You're a liar.
$800 a week. Oh, I'd love to see that one. Show me. Come on. Where did he get the number from? It's the same fantasy math problem that we had with Lewis when he kept espousing the $1.9 million for EXP35. And for what? Inflate numbers like Trump to make it look like you're doing fantasy savings after you do fantasy math? We are living in a 2 + 2 = 5 world over here. Orwell must be rolling over in his grave by now. And math is the ultimate metaphor, because what do we all learn in school? To show our work. Marlon doesn't want to show how she got to the result. She just wants to deliver the results on her terms without help or input. She hides the process, if you could even call it that. She willfully fails to comply with law by withholding public documents that we're entitled to. She keeps doubling down with a stranglehold on everything. She thinks she's got an iron fist, but there's one big problem with iron in the ocean air that we live in. It'll corrode faster than the rebar, and that's why the only thing she's been building is a house of cards. It's obvious from these videos that my opinion is it is too dangerous to have her elected for another 2 years. Since she's running against Jim Ross for Valencia, hands down, there is no choice but to vote for Jim Ross. He's more than competent, even-tempered, isn't diving in the mud, a straight shooter, and most of all, process-driven, with decades of project management experience as well as teaching project management to business students at Columbia University. Over the last month, I've attended meet and greets, I've met every candidate, and have tried to have honest, open, engaging conversation. And there are very reasonable, good-willed people that are running. But in the case of both Alexander and Zoya, they would have been better off running as individual candidates. If they still wish to support, defend, or even worse, enable Marlon, then they are not ready to run at this time when governance is still too shaky and unstable. I think they might be worthy candidates after the fact when things are more stabilized and power is balanced. I don't see how they're being change agents to balance power. And any current board members that still continue to support, defend, or enable Marlon should be reconsidered if they intend to run in any future elections. In light of this, after a month-long investigation and contemplation, I can say with all confidence that I choose to endorse Jim Ross for Valencia, Alan Corey for Grenoble, and Henry for the at-large vote. I believe this is the best choice for our community at this point in time under the current circumstances we find ourselves in. And on that note, I'm wishing everyone a wonderful week ahead.